Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Wednesday, October 15th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The former Diamond Company warehouse on Columbia Street near Hale Park is now rubble after a fire early Monday consumed much of its interior. Anyone who drives Chumstick Highway between Leavenworth and Plain knows it's an area of scenic forest, but Chelan County says that forest is getting a little too close to the roadway. Expect sunshine and seasonal temperatures as we head to the end of the week, and then rain showers this weekend. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. For the first time in 6 weeks, there are no wildfire evacuation notices active in Chelan County. The last evacuation warnings for the Labor Mountain fire west of Wenatchee were lifted today as fire crews gain further control of that almost 43,000-acre blaze. Containment on that fire is still only at 30%, but the fire's movement is minimal, and structures nearest the fire line are now believed to be out of danger. Evacuation levels on the nearby Lower Sugarloaf fire, burning north of the city, were eliminated on Friday. That fire is likewise nearly 43,000 acres, but 99% contained. Fire managers expect to achieve full containment by November 1st. The former Diamond Company warehouse on Columbia Street near Hale Park is now rubble after a fire early Monday consumed much of its interior. The brick and timber building was empty and slated for demolition, so a work crew spent today and Tuesday taking down the parts of the structure still standing. The fire was believed to have been caused by someone inhabiting the warehouse illegally, and when firefighters were called to the scene just after 1 a.m. Monday, they weren't able to enter the structure to look for possible victims. Deputy Chief Andy Davidson with the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department now says no human remains have been found during the demolition and no one has been reported injured or missing. The building was purchased earlier this year by the Chelan County PUD, which plans to build an electrical substation on the site. The mural of the surrounding foothills inside the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center turned out to be a prediction when it was painted 20 years ago. The Senior Service Organization announced today its rebranding to be called the Foothills Community Center. In August, the center opened up a renaming competition which received over 500 name submissions. While the center is still dedicated to serving those 50 and older, the organization says it wants to recognize the broader community. The center says it expects incremental changes as the rebranding process will take place in increments and that members and the public will be informed as changes occur. The outdoors publication Climbing Magazine wanted to know why Washington is the site of so many climber fatalities. The state tied with Colorado for the highest number of climbing deaths in 2024 at 11. Non-fatal accidents and injuries are also high, taking third place in the nation. So the magazine reached out to Vernon Nelson Jr. of Wenatchee, the training officer and former board president of the all-volunteer Chelan County Mountain Rescue Team. In an interview, Nelson says inexperience, rugged terrain, and mountain peaks that are within driving distance of major cities all play a part in climbing accidents. He also offers advice for climbers visiting the state, like preparing for sudden changes in backcountry weather. You can find the article featuring Nelson, who's an Eastmont school teacher when he's not helping to rescue folks off high mountain ledges, at climbing.com. When we come back, Douglas County is holding an open house tonight to discuss an upcoming canal and road project. And anyone who drives Chumstick Highway between Leavenworth and Plain knows it's an area of scenic forest, but Chelan County says that forest is getting a little too close to the roadway. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. connect in your local area by calling Aging in Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or a relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa. Be sure to stop by this month and ask about a hot spring spa rebate. Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
For a moment, it looked like there might be a competitive election to replace Martin Barron, the longtime Wenatchee School Board member who's leaving his at-large position this year. But when 28-year-old Caroline Sidarius won the endorsement of her only opponent, she became the person most likely to serve in that spot after the November 4th election. NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins spoke with Ms. Sidarius about her quest to join the school board. A reminder that all this week and next, we're airing full interviews with the candidates in local contested elections every evening at 5:30.
Well, I grew up in Wenatchee, gone to school here, went through St. Joseph's private school actually when I was in elementary, and then went through Pioneer Middle School, up through the high school. Love Wenatchee so much that I ended up going to college and then coming back. This community here is amazing. I have a lot of family in town. I got my degree in secondary education, so I taught English and history at Pioneer Middle School for almost 5 years. Through COVID, through all of those kind of ups and downs with, health and safety and making sure our kiddos were actually attaining learning standards while being at home, which was a big struggle. And then about a year and a half ago, with all the budget cuts, I decided to make a change just for my own personal, lifestyle and family and future. Ended up taking a position at the Chelan County Juvenile Detention Center. I run a grant there through the Office of Homeless Youth that houses runaway kiddos and provides crisis services and resources for them and their families.
What's coming down the pike? What does the district need to be aware of from your perspective?
Well, I've been going to school board meetings pretty consistently since I decided I wanted to run. And one of the biggest problems that I see coming is that the federal and state funding for truant kiddos is kind of non-existent anymore. Our department at the Chelan County Detention Center is no longer going to be providing that needed support because we don't have funding for it. And so the schools now have to take over their own truancy process. And I know the high school, I was talking with Donna Mosier and Yumi Savage there the other day, and they're working really, really hard to get their truancy and absentee processes started up really early in the year so that they can target and find these students that need extra supports. But the fact that we don't have the support at the county with funding, we'll still do everything we can to be supportive, but we don't have the funds to, run it anymore. I think it's going to be a big issue with kiddos kind of falling between the cracks. We
saw the federal government withhold and then restore $2.9 million to Wenatchee School District, which was earmarked for migrant education, multilingual education, before and after school programs. And they're being told not to expect that money at all in 2026 to 2027. So as a prospective board member, what steps do you think the district should be taking to try and get ready for that kind of funding crisis in the future?
If we can rely on our community partners to fill some of those gaps for the migrant, multilingual, bilingual kiddos, when we don't have the funding, it really is a team effort. We all have to come together, and it's upsetting that we're no longer getting that support from the government, but I think it's a great opportunity for us to come together and be a little bit more close-knit and use what we have here in our community, because there are amazing things here. And I mean, I would love to see more community involvement in our schools, and there is something coming down the pipeline with that. I'm not going to say because I don't want to get in trouble, but I think you'll see a lot of good things coming from the school board this year.
Douglas County is holding an open house tonight to discuss an upcoming canal and road project. Beginning October 20th, the county will start work on the short span bridge replacement of the 21st Street Canal crossing east of Baker Avenue, just outside East Wenatchee. The county will also answer questions about the North Baker Avenue to North Devon Avenue project, which will address ADA compliance and illumination issues. The proposed road improvement will occur between North Baker Avenue and North Devon Avenue to widen the road, add an uphill bike lane, and install curb, gutter, sidewalk, ramping, illumination, and stormwater facilities. The open house takes place at the Douglas County Public Service Building in East Wenatchee from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Anyone who drives Chumstick Highway between Leavenworth and Plain knows it's an area of scenic forest. But Chelan County says that forest is getting a little too close to the roadway. Public Works crews are busy this week removing hazardous trees that pose a risk to motorists. That means drivers should plan for one-lane, flagger-controlled traffic in the work zone with delays up to 10 minutes. The crew started its work on Beaver Hill outside Plain, and work will work its way south on Chumstick toward Leavenworth. The project is expected to continue through tomorrow. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will give you a look at the flood damage to serve Wenatchee Valley and what the organization is doing to rebuild its food supply. After a chilly start to the day tomorrow, expect sunshine and mild temperatures by afternoon. I'll have your local weather details coming up, as well as Eric Granstrom with a look at all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after these messages.
There's no place like home. Because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier. Total comfort. Totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
When you enjoy Abby's Pizza at your place, close your eyes and you can taste old-fashioned values, classic pizza parlor decor, and generations of tradition. Recreate that magic. Open your eyes and head to abbys.com. With pickup and delivery options, no matter where you dine, Abby's just tastes better. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. Only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
In tonight's feature story, Serve Wenatchee Valley is continuing to ask for the community's help as it works to reopen. The nonprofit, which offers a market for low-income clients, was forced to temporarily close after a fire suppression line burst last Tuesday. Earlier this week, Executive Director Mike Malman took NCWLIFE News through the building to show the extensive damage to the office space and food bank. During the tour, Malman spoke about the organization's relocation and an upcoming opportunity to help rebuild their food inventory.
When law enforcement arrived on Tuesday, water was essentially, they described it as being waist high. We're in our Fresh Hope market right now. We've been able to get all our shelves out of here. A major cost to us is going to be our refrigeration units. We have these 2 large display refrigerators, 2 fairly large display freezers. The problem we have is that the electronics on these was below water level a long time. The water level did get above the toilet, so there's contamination. So these essentially all have to be replaced. Our insurance money should take care of much of that, or if not all of it. But right now we're kind of in that wait and see phase. Everything basically was destroyed. We did have our shelving, our grocery shelving in here. Our grocery shelving, we were able to salvage food that was canned basically above the 4-foot mark. but anything that was boxed, things, noodles, dried potatoes, that kind of thing, we had to throw out because there was so much moisture in the air, and there's so much humidity in the air that it basically destroyed those products. These were both pretty full, and all of it had to be disposed of. This particular unit, you see how large it was. The water actually lifted it up off the ground, turned it over, and so this one was essentially at some point fully submerged, and all of the mechanicals had broken away from it. These are not cheap units. These are these 3-door, about $7,000. The freezer units you see down there, about $4,500. So it's significant. And what it does do is it curtails our protein dramatically. And folks need protein. We had some generous donor last week purchase a bunch of canned protein and get it to us. And we just appreciate people doing things like that right now for us, because it will help us when we have our new location set up, get up and running as quickly as possible. I can tell you right now, just being fully transparent with people who may be interested in helping serve Wenatchee, we were a renter at this site. We had renters insurance. The amount of renters insurance we had was in the $60,000 range. So we're a little concerned that we may be above that by the end of the day. A lot of our regular volunteers have agreed to show up, just keep coming in, and instead of getting food to people right now, they're working on salvage. And so you see this team of people getting stuff out into the parking lot to either be tossed or to be salvaged. And we've got a crew out there kind of separating stuff. We'd love, of course, to salvage as much as we possibly can, but obviously that's we have to take safety into account. We handle a lot of food through here, and so anything we can do to cut down or eliminate contamination, we absolutely have to do. So we're throwing things out that we wish we could keep, but simply using them in the future for food distribution is not a good idea. Debbie Sperry over at the United Methodist Church reached out to us. She's managing the property that was the United Methodist Church, Trinity United Methodist Church in East Wenatchee, which has largely been sitting empty for a couple years. It's on a bus line. A lot of our clients use buses, and we believe we're working through sort of the paperwork in the city and that type of thing right now, but we're very hopeful we can get up and running full speed over there within the next couple of weeks. And that would be huge for us and be huge for our clients, obviously. There's this great opportunity to refill our market this week. This Thursday from 10 to 2, Albertsons, both Safeways, both grocery outlets, Fred Meyer. From 10 to 2, there'll be employees from Numerica Credit Union out in front collecting non-perishable food items. So I'm just really putting a challenge out to the Valley to get out to any one of those grocery stores, grab a bag of groceries, bring them out. We can get our market restocked as quickly as possible, so on day one, we're ready to open.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. Really nice fall day out there after a pretty chilly start. But boy, outside our weather window, beautiful afternoon. Looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, just a few clouds out there today, but nice fresh air and a little breeze. It felt like fall, and we're going to continue to see this nice weather as we make our way through the week. But also chilly yesterday morning, chilly this morning, and we are going to continue that into Thursday morning. There is a frost advisory for the Moses Lake area. You could creep right around that 32-degree mark. And boy, the valleys of northeast Washington, a hard freeze is expected up that way. You folks in Omak also expect a frost advisory up your way. So it's going to get cold for another night, and then things will get a little bit better. High temperature today, unofficially, 58 degrees. 61 is where we should be for this time of year. Our record high, 78 degrees, and that was set in 1991. 34 this morning, 41 is where we should be for a low, 28 our record low, 1 year after our record high in 1992. Yes, weather's cyclical. And sunrise this morning, 7:20, and the sun sets tonight at 6:12. All right, taking a look at our temperatures for Thursday, a nice warm-up. Most of us will jump into the low 60s, 61s for Moses Lake Lake and Ephrata, 62 in Quincy. That goes for Wenatchee as well. Eniat and Chelan, Omak at 62, Leavenworth 60 tomorrow. And you folks in Cashmere, you'll enjoy 61 degrees. That's about where we should be for this time of year. Tonight, clear skies, mainly because of this area of high pressure, keeping the western U.S. weather very stable. Low temperatures tonight, a little bit better than what we've been seeing, around 40 for a low. Getting you into Thursday, mostly sunny skies. You can see a cold front is forming in western Washington. That'll bring a few high clouds our way tomorrow with high temperatures in the low 60s. Should be another beautiful fall day. Football Friday, mostly sunny, but notice windy and breezy conditions right in central Washington. Expect that on Friday. Also expect decent temperatures with highs once again Friday afternoon into those low 60s. And then the all-important upcoming weekend. Saturday, this is where our weather begins to change, and it's all because of this area of low pressure that's just off the coast of British Columbia. Going to bring a few showers late in the day Saturday, but this is what we can expect overnight Saturday. Rain showers will develop, maybe even some heavy showers. And then Sunday morning, it will be a wet one, an 80% chance of morning showers, giving way to scattered showers by Sunday afternoon. A little bit cooler too, with highs and all that moisture into the mid and upper 50s. And then things stabilize again as we get you into Monday. High pressure builds back into the western U.S. We'll see dry conditions, partly cloudy skies Monday, with high temperatures again right around that 60-degree mark. And then looking at the end of our forecast on Tuesday, not much change from Monday. Maybe a few more clouds along the Cascades on Tuesday. Seasonal highs with readings in the upper 50s. All right, taking a look at your 7-day forecast, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Tonight, a little bit warmer for our overnight low, 40 expected, 44 tomorrow night with 62 our high temperature for Thursday. Not bad Friday either, 62 for a high. Partly cloudy, a little cooler as our weather changes this weekend, 58 our high Saturday. Remember, the time Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's when the rain showers will begin, and it's going to continue, it looks like, all Sunday morning with a high of 57, and then partly cloudy next week on Monday and Tuesday with high temperatures in the upper 50s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Happy Wednesday. Game 3 of the American League Championship Series is tonight at T-Mobile Park. George Kirby gets the start for the Mariners while Shane Bieber goes for Toronto. Seattle leads the best-of-7 series 2-0 after winning 2 games in Toronto. Game is on FS1 and underway right now. Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched a complete Game 3 hitter in the Dodgers' 5-1 win over Milwaukee last night. LA leads that NLCS 2-0 as the series moves to Southern California tomorrow afternoon at 3:08. That'll be on TBS. Game 4, by the way, for the ALCS between the Mariners and Toronto tomorrow afternoon, 5:33 on FS1. Seattle Kraken started a 6-game road trip last night with an overtime loss, 5-4 to Montreal. Two teams traded goals back and forth throughout the contest before the Canadiens scored the game winner in overtime. Seattle continues the road trip tomorrow in Ottawa at 4 o'clock. That also on Kong. The Wenatchee Panthers remain undefeated in Big Nine volleyball with a straight set win over West Valley last night. Kate Berry and Sienna Nell served Wenatchee through most of a first set 25-3 win. Panthers went on to take the next 2 sets, 25-15 and 13. I had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Nice volley on this 5th point of the game. Wenatchee gets it across. Kind of a defensive move now for West Valley. Can they get it across? They do, and Kate Berry is there on the back line for Wenatchee. Here's a kill attempt by Riley Jones, and it is in, and a point for Wenatchee. 5'8" junior approaches from the middle. Wenatchee there. Here's the kill attempt. Block at the nets. I'll tell you, West Valley's getting better at these blocks. There's 2 in a row. Reverse, and Riley Jones. No, they're going to say, oh, West Valley 2 hits, and that'll be a point to the Panthers and a win for set number 1. Service for Trinkenshoe. Barry there. Reverse. Go cross court with it on the attempt by, I think it was Demersion up front. No, excuse me, that's Waligorski. Here's a kill at the nets by Ballou, but the Rams up to the challenge. Another reverse set. Left hand from the right side up front. Rams trying to scramble to get it back over. They do. Nice volley. Panthers with a shove, and under the net that goes Wenatchee. Sienna Nell will try to do the honors here. Nell's serve, back line, falling down. West Valley got it across. Here's a push. Wenatchee up front with a kill attempt, and a swipe, and a swipe, and a double hit, and this is going to be a point to the Panthers, and set number 2 to the Panthers as West Valley trails it by 2. Hiles goes right down the line. Ball kind of spins off of Demerger, off of Lunstra. So here's West Valley. Blocked by Wenatchee. There to collect it is the Panthers. And a kill attempt. Beautiful job getting down after it by Strong. Tipped here by Wenatchee. They're trying to scramble in to get it back across. Kate Berry does. Great volley. Here's the kill. Block. Rams keep it alive. Back over goes to Leverton. Back line and a point to West Valley. A service to Becca Lamb for Wenatchee, trying to wrap up the match here tonight. Lamb serve. Right down the line. It's in, and an ace. How about that? And what a way to finish for the Wenatchee Panthers as they get the victory here tonight on home court. Other action, Moses Lake gave Davis all they could handle last night, but the Pirates prevailed in 3 sets, 25-20, 20, and 26-24. Tri-Cities Prep swept Quincy. Cashmere took down Connell 25-19, 17, and 6. Cascade beat Bridgeport 3-zip. Tonasket topped Okanagan. Brewster swept Lake Roosevelt. Pateras earned a 3-1 win over Easton, and Eniet swept Oroville. NCWLIFE channel will be back at Wenatchee High School tomorrow night for more volleyball action as the 4th-ranked Panthers in 4A host the 3rd-ranked Ellensburg Bulldogs in 2A. I'll be courtside with their play-by-play beginning at 6:30. Well, West Valley's soccer team upset Wenatchee on the road last night, 1-0. Rams' lone goal came late in the second half off the foot of a freshman. It was the Panthers' first loss of the season. In other action last night, Moses Lake shut out Davis 1-0. Toppenish topped Ephrata 3-1. Quincy got by Sela 1-0. Cashmere clocked Connell 7-0. Cascade closed out Chelan 3-0. Brewster beat Tonasket 5-0. Bridgeport got by Manson 5-2. Lake Roosevelt shut out Liberty Bell by a final of 2-0. Well, high school football returns to NCWLIFE channel coming up Friday night when Eastmont plays host to Moses Lake. The 5-0 Mavericks are ranked 6th in the latest Washington State coaches poll. The 4-1 Wildcats are ranked 8th in the latest WIAA RPI ranking. Over the last 15 meetings between the two schools, Moses Lake owns an 11-5 advantage over Eastmont. Last year's meeting was all Moses Lake at a blowout 40-0. So, you know, Eastmont has revenge on its mind. I'll be alongside with Grant Olson with a play-by-play. Our pregame at Wildcat Stadium gets underway at 6:30. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for this Wednesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also now available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.
You won't be voting for Congress or the presidency this year, but local elections are the place where your voice can make the most difference. Wenatchee Valley candidates are lining up to serve on city councils and school boards on both sides of the Columbia River. NCWLIFE put all of them in the hot seat so you can find the ones who represent you the best. Watch our interviews at these times and dates right here on our channel or anytime online at ncwlife.com. You're watching the NCWLIFE channel. Your vote matters to us.